see the dying and shameless, I see the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. 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 Yeah, I just wanna be.
What is going on, Detroit Lions fans? This is Mike here in another episode of the One Pride Podcast. We're going to talk all things Detroit Lions. We're going to get into free agency, but most importantly, the NFL draft to supplement what we just did in free agency. But I got a couple of guests here. They are the kings of the mock draft prospects. We got one here in Alex from Hail Mary Sports. What's going on, Alex?
How you doing? Glad to be here.
No doubt, man. We appreciate you coming in here, your insight on what the draft, and y'all know the next guy. It's Bro Schmo. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's crack-a-lack? And you got the king and Alex the queen.
Oh, get out of here.
Come on, dog. Hey, I guess I'm a jester, some shit. I think we'll go with the jester right there. What's up, Devin? We got Hi, I'm in, Sheldon, Anthony. We got Pierre, Devin Davis, Mofo, Frog Cop, all in the building. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. If you're not, then I don't know what the hell is wrong with you, because you're obviously a Lions fan, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're going to get in a little bit of free agency. We're going to talk how it affects the NFL draft. The Lions just signed Graham Glasgow to a one-year, $4.5 million deal. Evan Brown goes to Seattle. He's our backup guard. He's not replacing Big V. But there's a lot of interesting moves, Alex, that the Detroit Lions made. We got Cameron Sutton. We picked up Emmanuel Mosley. What do you think of the Lions' pickup so far for free agency?
I love it. I also hate it because I'm a Steelers fan. I wanted Cam Sutton back. So it's nice to see that you guys are addressing needs with really good value. It allows you to be able to approach the draft as a best player available. So yeah, you guys have done a great job. Obviously, I know that you're talking about Harris being re-signed and maybe not being a huge fan of that, but I think you're in a very good position to choose who you want rather than who you need.
Bro Schmo, man, what do you think what the Lions have been doing? You're not a Lions fan, but you are king of mocks, king of prospects. You understand the players. Do you think they did good job this offseason to solidify themselves as the NFC North, potentially champs this year?
Yeah, when you go to free agency, what you want to do is basically fill up those needs. That way you're going to the draft. You want to go draft value, get the best players possible. That's how you build a franchise. That's how you build a winning culture. You embed it with blue blood talent, regardless of position. But yeah, no, I love what they've done. Cam Sutton, nice, versatile. Mosley he was solid there at San Fran. Good piece to put in. Even could be a good bridge guy. You have Okuda coming on a contract year, so to speak. But man, that Glasgow one, I really like that one a lot. Guy familiar with the organization. I think that's huge. Just the best offensive line in football, just getting better.
Yeah, it is our backup. This is our offensive guard number 2. He's not a starter. So if we have injuries like we did with Halapaludi Vaitai, come in there, and the offensive line is still stout. Now, if we picked up Glasgow, we got our offensive line, Bro Schmo, then I'll have Alex. Do you think the Lions still address the offensive line in the NFL draft, whether it be Osiris Torrance or somebody else?
I say no. I kind of still like the idea of them going corner with their first pick, just because you kind of get the pick of the gander there. Though, I mean, obviously they could go multiple different ways, but I don't think you really have to address a current strength, at least early on in the draft. And this offensive line class, it'll be better next year.
$2 super from Matt Baden. It says, hi, Bro Schmo. How are you? Just wanted to say hi to you. Just want to say hi, man. Make sure that you're a bro and subscribe, man. Make sure.
He has it down.
Totally,
Where's the super for Gojo? We need the super for Gojo, folks. We got to give him
Gojo,
one. What do you think? Do you think the Lions do address at all offensive line, whether it be tackle? Maybe, we got 2 6th-round picks, got a 5th round. Alex, do you think that's an option for the Lions to continue to build that?
Yeah, so for me, I always say this. I'll never fault a team for going offensive line. Building through the trenches, especially depth, is key because a lot of times injuries do happen. So if we do see that, I prefer it, honestly, within probably like a day 2 to like later day 2 pick. But again, I don't think it's much of a pressing need. If you don't find the value there, which Broshno just brought up, it's not a very good offensive line class. It's going to be better next year anyway. It's probably best to go elsewhere. But again, never going to fault a team for going offensive line.
That is Alex from Hail Mary Sports. The pinned comment for this stream is his channel. Make sure you subscribe. I want every Detroit Lions fan that's on this bad boy to subscribe. This is how you learn the prospects, how to understand, what players are rising, what are falling. Subscribe to his channel. Friend of the channel, great guy. Been doing it for. I've been watching you since you just started. He's like 100 subs. I seen you, and
really?
I'm like, I like this guy. Yeah, I've been watching you for a long time, so really good stuff. We love the draft over here. And, of course, Bro Schmo, again, he's the king of this bad boy. So, bro, when you look at the Detroit Lions, what they did in free agency, secondary, we got, again, offensive line there. What are players the Lions could look to still get in free agency? It could be backups that's on the table for Detroit. Right now, we approximately got $20 million in cap space. Could have a little bit more if we want to restructure. But is there some players you would look at and say, Lions should look at this?
Oh, man, that's a good question. You could always look at receiver. It's not really like free agency hasn't been tapped out in that regard because it was kind of a downer class. I mean, maybe add in like a Mecole Hardman, who's a really good gadget player, good return man. It might seem redundant with a guy like Jameson Williams, but I mean, speed kills. He'd be a guy maybe I'd like to consider. Oh, shoot, man. Maybe no. Yeah, no, all the other guys that I'm thinking of right off the top of my head are taken. So that was the best name I could give you right off the spot.
Hey, that works right now. And Devin just dropped a $5 super. Says, is Chase Lucas still injured? I don't think so about Chase Lucas. I think he's fine. DJ Chark has a visit with the Carolina Panthers Friday. So that is the latest on DJ Chark. He is out of the New York Giants because they signed a wide receiver. I talked to Chat Sports Giants there, so he's no longer part of the plans for the New York Giants. But watch the Carolina Panthers. But again, they brought in Thielen the other day, and they didn't sign it, so it doesn't mean they're going to sign the player. That's just what they do. Let's get into Jalen Carter because there is a lot of interesting things going on with this prospect. In Detroit, we need help at DT like no other. We suck balls right now at that position. And there is a guy who's damn good out of Georgia, but issues with the police. It got settled today. He's on probation. Got to do a fine. But then pro day yesterday, Alex. 9 pounds overweight. Couldn't even finish the drill. Do you think this affects his draft stock? What does it mean to you? Is there teams you think that potentially could take him off the board? Everything you know about Jalen Carter's situation.
Yeah, so I'm definitely somebody who's a little bit more on the negative side in this situation. I saw that, he's up 9 pounds in 13 days. I understand there's a lot of stress going on, but even not even being in enough shape to complete your own pro day, I understand if you are in that situation, you might not be in the prime physical shape. But if you really aren't ready for it, you should just communicate that to everybody and say, hey, I have a pro day. Guys like Myles Muphy telling everybody, show up to my pro day or show up to my private workout, So I think that definitely defeats a lot of his momentum because a lot of the questions were, well, he doesn't play every single down. He looks like he gives up on some certain reps. And then he didn't do the testing. There's these personality concerns that maybe have been a little bit subsided. But when it comes to his overall health, maybe a little bit of a concern in terms of self-maintenance.
Do you think that he's going to fall? And if you do think he's going to fall, how far are you thinking? Just, You know, you've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
You know this stuff.
So, I mean, we've seen players that have some personality concerns drop very far. And it really depends because the best ability is availability. If you're not able to be on the field, then it doesn't matter how damn good you are. If you're not going to be able to play, then you're not going to be able to play. I think realistically, he could fall into the teens, but it's very hard to give up on the best talent in the class at that point. Sometimes you just hope that the immaturity wears away. Maybe the racing can go to like 70 or 60 in a 45 rather than 90. But, I'm hoping on that front. It could be genuinely scary, especially for teams like the Lions, where, having that blue chip mentality, that blue collar mentality is, a little bit more coveted than elsewhere.
So I was told yesterday that the question was asked, would the Lions pass on Jalen Carter if he's sitting there at 6? The answer was the Lions would pass on Jalen Carter at 18. So I don't know if that's true. It could be smoke. This is the time of lying. Okay, this is the time of BSing. So just take everything with a grain of salt there. We got a $5 super. We got the GOAT draft analyzers in here. Let's go. That's Travis the GOAT Doyley. Yes, these guys know what the hell they're talking about. They're my go-to. Him and Tom, these guys, Tom Downey, TA, they are my go-to for the NFL draft. Now, Jalen Carter's a little bit different for you, bro, Schmo. I think you got that Matt Patricia mentality. You know what? I look like him a little bit.
Okay.
You're going to sit up straight, okay?
I get that in my comments still to this day, dude. I can't escape it.
So again, I know a lot of people right now, they're having some PTSD in the comment section, seeing this is not Matt Patricia. There is no pencil in the air, but he does look like Matt Patricia. So what do you think if you are Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, what do you think about Jalen Carter? And then not Lions, where do you think he goes? Where do you think he falls? Does he fall?
Oh, man, for me, it's hard to even see him come out of the top 10. But, I mean, that is kind of the word that, like, we could see him somewhere in the top 20. I don't see him outside of there just because, man, we've seen what he can do on tape. Like, this dude could shred double teams. He's explosive. He's disruptive. He's everything you want. He was the top player for a lot of people in this class, not just top non-quarterback prospect, but top player in this class. And I get it. Bad pro day. Didn't look good. They pushed him real hard. They, I believe that they were real quick in between like sessions to really test that conditioning, and it didn't look good. It didn't look great, but still, there's just so much taped away on like this prior 2 years for me to be like, man, am I really not going to bet on a talent like that? If I'm the Seahawks, I'm still considering him. If I'm the Falcons, I'm considering him. Shoot, if I'm the Raiders, I'm considering him. And if I'm the Eagles, I'm considering him. It's just like
that would be ridiculous if you went to the Eagles, by the way. That would just be un-effing fair.
Yeah.
Right? Reunite him with Jordan Davis, man. But it's like you got to ask the question, like, okay, if we're not taking Jalen Carter, then who? Then who is a guy that comes close to comes into the ballpark, maybe even onto the field to a talent that Jalen Carter is? Is there a Tyree Wilson? Do you believe Tyree Wilson's that guy? Lucas Van Ness? Maybe these corners, because these corners, they're good. I like the corners in this class. They're good. But it's not like they're like Sauce or Steenley or McDuffie from last year. So it's like if you're gonna be like, man, we're not touching Carter, then who is that guy that comes into that proximity? Because it ain't gonna be Will Anderson. That dude's gonna be gone by 3.
Yeah, and what really sucks if you're the Lions is you're sitting at 6. So say you're like, you know what, Carter is off the table. I like Will Anderson. 4 quarterbacks potentially go in the top 4. Will Anderson, and then there's the Lions. There's the Lions right there, and you're like, you know what, you already got Jalen Carter off the table. What do you do? And that's going to go to my next questionables, Alex here. And, bro, Tyree Wilson, is the hype real on this guy? I'm hearing Arizona would prefer Tyree Wilson over Will Anderson. I think it's bullshit. That is personally for me. I think Will Anderson's much better. Is there going to be teams, though, that think that he is better than Will Anderson, Alex?
I mean, it's just a totally different frame. You're looking at someone who's about 275 pounds at 6'6" with 35.5-inch arms. He's going to play a completely different role, in my opinion. I think that the way that actually Will Anderson was used at Alabama as a two-gap player, someone who can kind of take up two different spots and has to decide later on, is a little bit more suited for a man of that size, of that length, to have that range. I think Will Anderson is going to be more of a one-gap player, maybe not a DPR. I still think he's absolutely phenomenal, but I think that depending on the role that the team wants to play with their edge rushers, that will really dictate which one they prefer.
What do you think about this one, Bro Schmo? Tyree Wilson, Will Anderson. Are you believing it that he could potentially go before Will Anderson, or is it like me? I don't believe it.
I've seen a lot of strange things happen in the draft, and
last year,
I'm not going to discount it. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Cole Strange.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm not going to discount it. I'm not going to discount Trevon Walker. And Tyree Wilson's not Trevon Walker. Like, he when he tests out, if he tests out, he is not up to that tier of athlete. But you're getting a guy with a huge wingspan, great length, unpolished right now as a pass rusher. But despite that, his production was immense the last 2 seasons. Yeah. So it's like, you're getting a good run defender. He's going to be a 3-down player. He gives you versatility at that size. But Will Anderson, production since day one, it has been huge. He has been the best pass rusher the last 2-3 seasons. He's explosive. He got up to 250. So no more of this whole, he's up 250. He's undersized. It's like, okay, no, he's up to 250. And either way, the dude plays stupid strong. That's like one of his big selling points. I find it hard to believe because, again, Tyree Wilson right now is a bit of a projection. He's kind of looked at in a similar light as like Trevon Walker was last year, just with a little less of the athletic tools.
I love that comparison because it was funny is around this time, there was like, Trevon Walker is jumping up there to number 1. And I'm like, please, God, do that.
Yeah.
Leave us Aiden Hutchinson. You overthink it. Aiden Hutchinson balls, and Trayvon Walker's there. So, yeah, look, I hope some team believes it, but I do think I'm with you. There's just... Come on, man. One's better than the other. $4.99 super here. Shout out to Bro Schmo. I heard he loves him some punters. We got to show him some interesting things. Because I don't think he knows who Jack Fox the GOAT is here. Now, I heard you mocking punters to our beloved Detroit Lions. I'm going to talk to you about the MVP of this football team, Bro Schmo. His name is Jack Fox. He's our punter. Was that a mistake to mock a punter to Detroit when you're disrespecting the greatest player to ever exist?
All right, so when I do like a 7-round mock, I take a look at the prior season. I'm like, okay, punters, kickers, I personally won't draft them. I think you could get good ones as UDFAs, but I got to fit them in here if I want a realistic mock. I was like, Jack Fox. I can't believe I said that name out loud, man. That's Voldemort on my channel at this point. But he had a down year, man. He really, really did. Like the hang time, not great. I think he was among the bottom in punts inside the 10. Just overall, it was a down year for the so-called MVP. But you know what? Aaron Rodgers had a down year too, and he's a former MVP. So
how many completions of Jack Fox right now is perfect throwing the football? Okay. The guy.
You should be talking to the Jets then.
You should. I tell you what, man. I definitely look. I can't trade. I'm sorry. I can't trade Jack Fox. The reason he probably had a down year is the fact that we go for it on 4th down 99% of the time. You don't get to punt over here. You just don't, folks. You just don't. So we got the 2 GOATs on here. I wanted to do a little bit of a mock draft to see who falls to the Lions at 6 and 18. Ooh. So that's what we're going to do here. You guys can pick odds or evens. You don't really have to go through each player to the specific team because we really don't care, why the Texans get this player, why the Cardinals. But we just want to see who's going to be there for our beloved Detroit Lions. So we got you guys here. Ooh. You can do trades too because I do think that Arizona is a trade candidate. So I want to see what you guys got. So who wants to go first with the number 1 pick?
I'll be a gentleman, and I will let Alex go first.
All right, I'll take it. Let's go.
All right.
So, so we're doing every single pick, correct? We're gonna see what falls.
We don't have to go through again. You just name the player, like why this is. You don't have to do what you guys do. That's like a 40-minute.
Exactly. I want to make sure that we do a condensed
500-hour mock draft.
I mean, people can get what they're paying for, right? Less is more, though. But number 1, I'm going to go C.J. Stroud. It feels like it's the perfect marriage with Frank Reich. 6'2" and over is what he's been used to working with. C.J. is the ball placement specialist, and this is going to be a great place for him to go, especially if you get another weapon.
All right, man. Texans on the clock.
I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Bryce Young's the best quarterback in the draft. Size ain't nothing but a thing. It ain't about the size of the boat, but the motion in the ocean, and I'm digging the motion that Bryce got going on.
And I got to tell you what, I don't know if that's true, but my wife has been with me for 12 years, married, so it must be.
I can confirm it's true.
All right, man, and this is the controversial pick. As soon as that Panthers trade happened, I said the biggest winner of that trade is the Arizona Cardinals. I said these guys have an opportunity to trade down. Do you think a team trades up to get this quarterback, whether it be Richardson or getting Levis?
So I think that, one, yes. I think, in short, yes. I think this team needs a lot more than just what Will Anderson or Tyree Wilson can provide. I think this edge is super deep. This class is super deep at edge rusher. So I don't think you necessarily need to stay in the spot to get the best player on the board, because you're going to get a really good one regardless. Something I actually want to toss into the fold here is the idea of potentially getting Will Anderson in a trade up for some teams that are looking for that final piece. Depending on how Howie Roseman deals with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's contract in terms of bringing him potentially out of free agency back to the team, that might mean that they don't really have a future in terms of cap flexibility. Being able to grab someone like Will Anderson could be able to push their pieces into the pile. However, there are a lot of teams that do have multiple first-round picks, multiple early picks. I think a lot of those teams could be trying to push up for a QB. One of those teams that made an offer for the number 1 pick is the Tennessee Titans. So it's a dark horse team for sure, but it is something that is at least known to have been interested in moving up for a quarterback.
I'm not going to do the trade, what they're going to get out of it. We're just doing here. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with you. I actually, before the trade went down, I had the Lions trading with Tennessee, moving back for them to get a quarterback. I was like, you know what, Tannehill, it's not the guy. So there, who do you got, man, here, Richardson or Levis?
See, that's a tough thing because I think Will Levis is more ready day one. I think he's a better system fit. I personally have Anthony Richardson exponentially higher. But at the same time, you're going to put a raw quarterback with a raw quarterback. It doesn't fully make sense in terms of what they would want. They'd want instant production. They want to have a chance to win. And I think Will Levis fits a little bit better. Again, I like Anthony Richardson more. In a fantasy mock draft, I'd go Anthony. But I am probably going to end up going after Will Levis.
Bro, this one's easy then.
Yeah, it's Anthony Richardson. I was panicked for a second. I was like, the Titans? Man, the Colts, they had to worry about maybe trading up to 1 to get ahead of the Texans, and now they have the Titans jump them? Oh, what kind of hell would Indianapolis be in, man?
Lions fans, this is a real possibility that 4 quarterbacks go in the top 4. I don't think that's ever happened in an NFL draft. We're trying to get defense. That is what our goal is. And we're sitting here between Seattle and ourselves. This is a huge thing, so we could pretty much get a lot of defensive players here. I don't know about you, but I'm going to think they're going to go ahead. Seattle's just going to go ahead and take Will Anderson. Is that what you think there, Alex?
I was going to send a little bit of an apology, but yes.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to the Lions fans who really want him.
Now we're effed.
Yeah.
Now we're effed, bro, Schmo. We just got bent over really quick. So what are you thinking that's going to happen?
Well, I guess you might sit there and just take it. But Jalen Carter, for me, I get it. He's not on, apparently rumored, not on the board for the Lions with this pick. So then what are the other avenues are you looking at? I guess realistically, Tyree Wilson is that guy.
Yeah.
Gojo doesn't agree.
Yeah,
but,
he doesn't agree.
I mean, you're getting a guy that's a very polished run defender, right? So, like, he comes in. You could kick him inside on passing downs, bring in James Houston, who's kind of that DPR that doesn't have a pass rush only guy. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like, I also like corner at this position, too, because you kind of get your pick of the gander before teams like, I imagine, the Raiders, who probably are out of the market for a quarterback at this point, or at least at this juncture. Maybe the Falcons, but I guess we'll go Tyree Wilson. I mean, this is the guy with the most hype in that next tier of defensive players.
Okay, folks. Now, this is the idea that the Lions are going to pass on Jalen Carter. If Jalen Carter didn't do all this stuff, I think we're doing backflips in Detroit. I still even think Lions fans would love to get Jalen Carter right here. But we're trying to assume what they're going to do, right? What the Lions are going to do. And I really do starting to believe they're going to pass on Jalen Carter. If that's the case, too, I'm looking to trade down. But I just don't know who'd want to trade up. The quarterbacks are off. So
yeah, that's the question.
Yeah,
like
that's the
you
problem.
gotta, if you want to trade down, you gotta find someone who wants to trade up.
Yeah,
precisely.
So I'm a concur. I think if they do pass on Carter, it's going to be Tyree Wilson. You know, go around and fix that edge. We got a nasty defensive line now. You pair him up with Aiden Hutchinson. The interior, we can maybe look at Kalijah Cansey a little bit later. I think that's definitely an option there. But so right there, Tyree Wilson, if this was to play out. Let's just do quick so we can get to 18. What do you got there for you, Alex, with the Raiders?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go actually Joey Porter Jr. here. He's my number 2 player in the entire draft class. He has 34-inch arms. He ran in the 4.4s, and he is one hell of a press machine. And he has shown the ability to learn in game, and that's awesome.
All right, bro.
All right, so Falcons. They brought in David Onyemata, but like Grady Jarrett, that's a big contract that they could get rid of. So I'm like trying to talk myself into Jalen Carter here. But corner might be the spot. Like Devon Witherspoon is, he's kind of the best press man corner in there. Christian Gonzalez, pretty darn close, but I think he's a bit more flexible in coverages he could run. Problem with Witherspoon, man, is no pro day. We have no times on him. Gonzalez, we know his times. We know he's a bigger guy. So I think I talked myself into Christian Gonzalez.
All right. Then we got Chicago here. This could be a landing spot if Carter's to fall. But we really don't know what's going on with Chicago. But what do you think they would do?
That's a tough one. So obviously Jalen Carter, I do think, is probably the front runner for them. I think that they can handle that type of personality. And I mean, I just feel like it's kind of hard to see him fall out of the top 10. I don't think the Eagles would pass on it either. You have some amazing mentors there that could really help the maturation process of Jalen Carter. And I'm not going to give Broshmo the satisfaction of taking him at number 10 to pair up with Jordan Davis. So I'm going to go Jalen Carter. And one small thing of note, Devon Witherspoon's defensive coach is actually part of Atlanta's defensive coordinating unit. So it is actually like there are ties back to that. So if that ever does make a little difference, that probably is the reason why.
Make sure you guys smash that like button. We get to 100 likes, we're going to do an ultra combo. I'll just give you an idea. That's the combo breaker. We get 100, we're going to do the ultra combo here. Philadelphia Eagles are on the clock. What do you think they're going to do there, bro?
Oh, man. It kind of feels like corner Devon Witherspoon. I like the connecting of the dots there, Alex. I try to do that a lot. I think I did try to do that with Walker Little to the Bengals last year.
The Bengals. Yeah, the Bengals.
I was so close. He got picked up. He got snapped right before that. I think not last year, but the year before. It ended up being Carmen Jackson. So, but yeah, Devon Witherspoon, Slay. I can't imagine like they have no depth behind those guys. Even with Slay back, with Bradbury back, those are still two older guys. I think Bradbury is like 27, 28. So start building for the future, regardless. Like Zach McPherson ain't it. Like the depth is just atrocious.
All right, AZ. What do you think they do real quick? You don't need to really explain anything. Just
I'm going to go Peter Skoronski. They need offensive line help, and he's the best guy at guard or tackle.
Texans.
Ooh, So I think, especially with how free agency's played out, I think the pick of Lucas Van Ness actually now makes a lot more sense here with this pick. I think he's going to be a guy that D'Amico Ryans really likes, and seeing how they didn't really go after it on the defensive line like I expected them to. So here they go. They grab one here.
All right. What do you think that the Jets do? They got Karen Rodgers.
Patriots.
You got to protect Karen Rodgers. So I think the best thing to go is offensive tackle, and I think Broderick Jones will probably be the next one taken. If it's not, actually, I'll go Paris Johnson. I think Paris Johnson with those 36-inch arms probably set himself above the competition.
All right, man. Pates.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go for a N'Keal Harry repeat. I still feel like tackles on the – oh, okay. I'm not saying that these guys are. I'm just saying.
Get out of here.
It could happen. I would love Quentin Johnston at this pick, but I think
I just did.
I would love Quentin Johnston at this pick.
You're taking it. That's right. That's what you get for saying N'Keal Harry. That's what you get.
All right, Green Bay with Jordan Love.
I'm going to be going after Myles Muphy here. He has the size and the power needed to add in just a freakish presence there.
Couple players are slipping that I've been hearing from a lot of Lions fans. Bijan Robinson and Kalijah Kancey. Just keep that in mind. We're sitting here at 16 now, Washington.
All right. Well, I really like Deontay Banks for this pick. The close to home Maryland corner. Tested out like a monster. He's a fluid athlete. Got a lot of ball skills. Just a bit handsy, but that ain't bad. I don't mind handsy corners.
All right, Alex.
All right. For the Steelers, I'm going to be going Darnell Wright. He was at the Senior Bowl. He has right tackle, left tackle versatility, and he is thin enough. You'll probably have to go into the pure tackles. They have him down a little bit on their board. But he's arguably the most athletic tackle. He's over 330 pounds. So he fits the mold, as well as he just overall plays so well. He was able to handle Will Anderson pretty handily multiple years in a row.
All right, here. Pick 18. Broshmo. A lot of players fall lines. We did pick up David Montgomery, running back. But DeAndre Swift, he's got 1 year left. I don't think he's coming back. When I was told this is his last year in Detroit. We got Kalijah Kancey, defensive interior, high riser, Brian Branch, safety. Don't even talk about tight end. I think Lions fans and myself will absolutely be in an uproar. What do you think they do if this is how the draft fell, Lions fans? What do you think they do? Put it in the comments section.
All right, so, receivers kind of off the board here. Jackson Smith and Jigba is basically Amon-Ra St. Brown, and unless you're going to be running a lot of 4 wide receiver sets, I don't really see the point in that. Brian Branch is interesting, but you kind of have that flexible guy there in Cameron Sutton who could kick into the slot. So I'd probably rather try to get another outside corner. Then there's Kalijah Kancey. I'm going to make a quick talk about my boy Adetomiwa Adebawore. Though the general draft community is higher on Kancey, I'm just going to say the guy tested bigger, came in bigger, longer arms, significantly longer arms. I was going to say them 30-inch T-Rex arms. You're really going after the exception when it comes to Kancey. I really like Adebawore right now, but man, this one's tough. So we grab Tyree Wilson.
It's tough.
Yeah, I guess it's Bijan. I mean, especially with David Montgomery's durability concerns. I mean, you already have that in DeAndre Swift. So
that's fair.
A lot of Lions fans would like Bijan Robinson right now. And so, folks, that's how it played out. This is realistic. So the Lions would get Tyree Wilson, then a Bijan Robinson, or a Kalijah Kancey could be there. So a lot of people say, Bijan go top 10. Do you think that could potentially happen, Alex? Does he actually go top 10?
I think he could. I mean, if the Eagles get ballsy enough, they can do something like that. I don't think they do, but the possibility is there. The Bears and the Eagles both are real, legitimate possibilities.
Okay. What do you think about the Bears' offensive line, though? Like, I feel they must upgrade that thing, because if they don't,
Yeah.
Justin Fields going to be pancaked.
Well, I think that the best move is to go offensive line. But I'm saying that there's still a possibility that they do the thing that is not the best for the team, and that is to go after the flashy running back player. So, yeah, I prefer right tackle. But it's also a tough spot at 9 to get someone who's actually played right tackle. And, like, the best one in the class is going to be DeJuan Jones or Darnell Wright. And that's not worth number 9.
So if you're sitting there, do you think Bijan Robinson could go top 10, bro schmo? And if he does, do you think that then Kalijah Kancey or another defensive tackle would potentially be there for the Lions at 18 to pick up?
Yeah, I mean, I would even throw Brian Bressee still in the mix there. I think there's like maybe I feel like the NFL has moved away from the concept of taking running backs top 10, but I mean, Bijan, he's again one of the best prospects at the position since Saquon. Alex kind of listed out the two possibilities, the two teams that could go for that. And I'd give it like a 10% chance. I think Bijan goes somewhere in like the 15 to 20 range. If maybe a team like maybe the Chargers, who Austin Eckler's might be traded, I think it makes sense. I feel like they probably didn't want to sign him to another contract. You don't want to, especially when you got to re-sign Justin Herbert, you don't want to pay a running back big money anyway. So getting a run back on a rookie deal is actually really, really nice for the Chargers. So, yeah, I like that 15 to 20 range for Bijan.
Folks, don't get upset with the selections that we did. This is just to show you who potentially could be there, right? This is not like, this is who I'm selecting. This is giving you options like Brian Branch could be there legitimately. You know, Kalijah Kancey could be there. Brian Bressee, Nolan Smith. These are the players that could be there at 18. Not saying that's who they're going to get. So if you're upset with the selection, we're not the ones doing it. We're just we're giving you an idea who potentially could be there for the Lions, because everyone says there's no way Kancey will be there. Yeah. Like there's I hear there's no way Kancey will be there. There's no way Bijan will be there. But according to who got the guys who do this all the time, they are there, and Brian Branch is there. So there's a lot of options for the Detroit Lions at pick 18 for them to upgrade the roster, whatever they do. And like I always say, it's Brad Holmes I trust. Whatever they're going to do, he's done a phenomenal job in draft. You know, getting James Houston, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Aleem McNeil, obviously Aiden Hutchinson, Penei Sewell, all these guys. So there's going to be some premium talent at pick 18, not just at 6, but at 18 as well. In the second round, there's a lot of quality players. Jack Campbell, love him, linebacker.
Oh, yeah.
He's just a god, right? He feels like Spielman 2.0 here in Detroit. Just could do everything. So there's some options, but folks, you have an opportunity to talk to these individuals here that does the draft all the time and prospects in the NFL. So let me know in the comment section. It's your time to shine. Do hashtag Lions, hashtag Broshmo, hashtag Alex, hashtag with the word hashtag to get your question answered. We're going to miss questions. Just copy and paste to get this thing back in there. But ask these guys, take an opportunity right now to talk to them. Your thoughts on the draft, free agency, Detroit Lions, Jack Fox, whatever you want in the comments below. Let's see here. Is Jalen Carter good enough to go to Chicago at 9? Then the Lions can get him at 6. I think it is a prospect for me personally, yeah, but we're not Brad Holmes. That's the thing. It's what are they going to do, right? It's a different organization. Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell want the kneecap biters. We know this. Maybe it's a little bit different over there in Chicago. So that's just my perspective from what I'm hearing. I've talked to a couple people, and it just feels like they're going to pass on it. Branch is an absolute dog, 100%. Yeah, Carter is too risky. Yeah. He's not a Lion. He don't bleed football.
Okay. That's accurate.
Here we go.
I don't think it is.
Hashtag Dick fits well. Could Van Ness slip to 18, Alex?
Can Van Ness slip to 18? Yeah, I was still processing that. I think that he could definitely slip to 18. Yeah, I think it's possible. He only put up 17 bench press reps. So if a team is concerned about that potentially, that could be one of the little itty bitty things that puts one really good edge rusher above another one. So it's possible.
Great subscriber here from Paul. He says, Lions, do you guys think that we're going to get a quarterback in free agency? Absolutely. Give it a couple days. They're waiting for the bigger contracts for backup quarterback to go to other teams. Probably around $4 million. What we're looking for a backup quarterback. Just an FYI. And there's still a lot of quality backups out there, bro and Alex. There's a ton of backup quarterbacks.
Uncle Rico.
Yeah, just a ton. Let's see here. So just be patient on that one. Trade back at 6 from Liam and include getting a 4th-round pick in a trade. Do you think the Schmo, the Lions could trade out? I do for sure if there's a quarterback there. Like if one slipped to 6. You know, if the Lions say were to go from 6 to 12, what would the comp be? Do you think the Lions would make that type of trade?
Yeah, I'd totally be about it. Again, I mean, if there's a quarterback there, I don't think the Raiders are that team. The Titans kind of feel like potentially they could be that team. I mean, we could throw the Patriots, we could throw the Packers, teams that are unsure if they got their guys. So it just really depends who's there and who'd be willing to trade up. Like, I don't know. It's going to be tough. It's a tough call because, like, after Will Anderson's off the board, like, who is worth trading up for?
Yeah, I guess we can go, like, get Jake Moody, draft him at pick 6 or trade up to get the kicker there. I think that'd be a great option. Casey, hashtag Mike or Mike. Lions talk by Chess Sports. I'd prefer Lions trade down for best fair market extra picks and draft BPA. Do you think that's likely best case for Holmes if the makes package deal? If there's a quarterback there, I think they do think about that. I would definitely do that, especially if Will Anderson's gone. Yeah, I mean, you could still get really good value at that pick. Maybe pick up a 2nd-round pick and a 4th-round pick, just depending on how far you go. 100%. Again, we're missing your questions. Copy, paste it. I'm not missing it on purpose. Alex, Lions linebacker Henley at 48. Do you think that he could be an option for Detroit in the 2nd round?
So they don't even start laughing. I would probably direct this one more to Brochmo since he's more of a fan of Diane Henley. I brought on Brendan Jackson, his teammate, onto my show, and obviously the character concerns are like they're not character concerns at all. There's big character positives to Diane Henley. He's a really good leader in the locker room. I think he would be a guy that Dan Campbell would like, but personally, I prefer linebackers like Jack Campbell. I prefer guys like Drew Sanders. I prefer other players to Diane Henley, but honestly, any linebacker help is very much welcomed there in Detroit. So I think it'd be a perfectly fine option.
Any linebacker, please,
any
God.
Linebacker.
Let's take one, man. It's like it's been so long. We had DeAndre Levy, and we just been sitting here waiting. Man. Derek Biddleman, hashtag FAR, hashtag FGB. We always say hashtag FGB. With Carolina trading with Chicago, who is our next logical trade partner to move back? I think Tennessee Titans could be an option.
Yeah.
Maybe the Raiders, but I think we talked about that earlier. Alex is on board with that. What do you think, Bro Schmo?
Yeah, I kind of mentioned it earlier. Titans kind of make the most sense. They're really embracing maybe a potential rebuild there. They did take Malik Willis. How much they're really invested in? I mean, obviously he's a 3rd-round pick, so it's like there's not a ton of investments compared to a 1st-round quarterback. So if they want to go ahead and get the 4th best quarterback in this class, then yeah, sure, go right ahead. And honestly, man, probably get good value too in terms of the Lions. You could probably get another 1st-round pick and maybe another day 2 pick.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with picking up some draft picks, and if you pick up some extra 2nd-round picks, you can jump back into the 1st round if there's a talent that you like slipping and you want to get that. Folks, make sure you subscribe to Alex from Hail Mary podcast right there. Really good YouTube channel. I've been watching his mock drafts for about a year now, a little over a year. About when you had 100 subscribers. I just like seeing people's mock drafts, so go ahead and subscribe to his channel. It's the pinned comment right now for this live stream. And if you're watching after the fact, it'll be the pinned comment when I can pin it after this stream is over. And obviously, subscribe to Bro Schmo. He's getting near 40,000 subscribers. Right where are you at right now? You're getting close.
Almost at 37, so
Okay, close.
Coming up. Started from the bottom, and now I'm here.
Started from the bottom, now Alex is freaking here too. So definitely go ahead and subscribe to these guys' channels. Content takes a long time, especially doing mock drafts. Holy hell. The amount of work that you do for each prospect is mind-numbing. And I'm sure you guys get exhausted of it by the time the draft comes. And then you start on the next year one. Manifest my destiny. Broshmo, what is your thoughts on O'Cyrus Torrence at 18? Pair him with Sewell on the right side.
Dude, I stinking love O'Cyrus Torrence. This dude's built well. He's more of this phone booth type of locker, which, hey, that works exceptionally well for what Detroit does in terms of their run game. A guy that is just stupid strong. He can get out and get after it, and I love him on the right side. He's definitely a guard-only prospect. Not, I don't think there's many people that want to put a 6'6", 330-pounder under center, so...
No, definitely not. But you want to know something funny? We have a guy named Skipper, Dan Skipper, who is our guard / tackle. He's the second tallest player in NFL history. I think he's 6'9", and he plays guard.
Nice.
He's huge.
So no Bryce Young for the Lions.
Hey, bro, I went to training camp, and he got in a fight with another guy, and you just see this giant, and it's like, don't fight this dude, man. Don't do it. He will smash you. Oh, yeah, shoot. We just hit over 100 likes, so let's get that Ultra Combo going.
Ultra Combo! Combo Breaker! Ultra Combo!
Love it, man. Love it. Appreciate you guys hitting that like button. It does help off, and because of that, we're going to get some...
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
No, I'm not. Aaron Rodgers is gone, man. Aaron Rodgers is gone. So Liam Gutty says, hashtag remember, Mosley is on a 1-year deal. What about Ricks, Eli, or Emmanuel Forbes, chicken legs? I must say, I love Emmanuel Forbes. I think he's really good, but he is one skinny ass. So when I was watching him run, I was like, oh, my God, it looks like an ostrich. It's like, poof. But I still think he's a really good prospect. What do you think,
I wish
Alex?
His upper body was that big.
Yeah.
It was chicken leg, but he's a fast guy. What do you think of those two corners? Where do you think they fall? And I want to throw in there Keely Ringo as well. I hear a mixed bag on this guy. You know, where's this guy going to go? What do you think?
Which one? Who's going?
All three. What do you think about Ricks, Ringo, and chicken leg?
Yeah.
Come on, Alex, run this train.
Yeah. Get out of here. So Ringo, man, he's a tough evaluation because that game versus Ohio State exposed him big time. Granted, everybody who plays Ohio State pretty much gets exposed big time. But when you do watch him versus a lot of other players, even Cedric Tillman, he gives up a lot in terms of his man-to-man coverage. He's not very good and very quick twitch when it comes to being able to have somebody guarded within 15 yards. If you have him guarded somebody 15 plus, you bet your ass he's going to be able to have that start-stop ability and have that speed to maintain ground with you. He has an incredible frame. I think he could sneak back into the first because teams love projects, and he definitely is one of those guys, especially after Tariq Woolen at that similar size, at that similar speed, has been doing a really good job in a system that fits him best. I think that other teams will be like, okay, we can have a vertical type of guy rather than a lateral type of guy. But when it comes to chicken legs, Emmanuel Forbes is my number 2 corner. He posted all these pictures about how he's getting big and buff at his training facility. For this man to weigh 166 pounds. Now, I know Mr. Broshmo here still thinks he can play on the outside. But the fact is, physics exist. And the amount of force that a player has to endure between a guy who's like A.J. Brown weigh about 220 pounds going up against a little stick figure like that, you are either going to have to stick him versus the tiniest dude on the entire field, or it's just not going to work, especially if you want a guy to have a long career. And I wish the best for him. He's awesome in coverage. He's willing to put his nose to the football. I hope his playing weight is 175, 180. But I think he'll end up dropping late day 2 just because it's so hard to have the best abilities, availability. It's so hard to have someone that size play that long. But
That's
Eli Ricks is a
weird
weird one.
though. I got to say, I like Forbes. I've been looking at Forbes for since week 4. It's like, man, this guy is pretty good. I agree with you. He's more of a nickel guy. Would you really want to see DK Metcalf and him going at it?
Hell no. That dude's damn near double his weight. It's so, it's so sad. I mean, I would love to. You know,
Yeah,
how
let me
there's
get
a picture
let
of
me get the
Derrick
biggest
Henry?
monster and receiver as an example.
Yeah. It's like look at the picture of like Derrick Henry next to Dion Lewis. I feel like that's the exact same vibe from that. But yeah, I mean, I pray to God that we're all proven wrong and that, you know, Emmanuel Forbes can end up getting his playing weight up and he can actually maintain his physical build and his longevity because he's an awesome player. Eli Ricks is weird because he has some personality concerns in there. Randomly did not play games with Bama, and then you know, he's an interesting player. He's very streaky, but his game versus Mississippi State, awesome. You saw his potential there, and I think he has elite field awareness. I think in a zone coverage heavy scheme, he's going to be maximized. He has good enough length. I think he has good enough athleticism. Not great, but I think that he does have a future in the NFL in the right system.
Overtime 3-3. Can the 2023 Lions be what the Philadelphia Eagles were last season if they hit on most of their draft picks? So, taking that next step, going from almost a playoff team to the Super Bowl, bro schmo.
That's asking a lot from Jared Goff, but become Jalen Hurts. But yeah, no, definitely. This is a team I think on the up and up. They proved last year they're a playoff caliber team. Jared Goff stepped up his play huge, but I mean we've seen that in the past too. He took the Rams to the Super Bowl for goodness sake, but I think he's like the perfect bridge quarterback at this point. Like he is a guy that is going to be able to effectively run your offense, and he's going to have them streaky plays, get him the weapons. They already did it they got Amon-Ra St. Brown, they got Williams, and I'm a huge fan of James Mitchell as like a tight end too, or even like a big slot dude. That dude's a dog, bro.
So good.
Oh man,
so good.
But like,
I'll say this,
another receiver like.
Yeah, no, you can finish first.
I was going to say I love the idea of like Quentin Johnston, like to the Lions. I think that, dude, that it's literally better DJ Chark.
That'd be nice.
That's an expensive price to
big
pay for
body, vertical threat, guy that can create after the catch, turn up field quick. I know he wasn't physical this year, but go to his 2021 tape. He has that dog in him.
He's a beast. I'll say this. I think it's actually almost imperative if there is a QB on the board, trade with the Titans. Get that future first-round pick, because if you do think that Goff is a bridge quarterback, that's your almost golden ticket to get another top 5 selection. And in next year's quarterback class, if you want to get rid of your bridge quarterback, you are pretty much having like the gates of heaven open up to you. And you can do that for free while challenging for a Super Bowl. See how the Eagles have a top 10 pick, even though they're in the Super Bowl? That's a very similar situation. And I think there's a lot more wrong with Tennessee than there is with the Saints last year. So you very well could be getting a top pick for them just to go after a quarterback and then absolutely blow it.
Hey, look, I can see them being a team that's butt cheeks. You know, Tannehill with Derrick Henry potentially getting shipped out of there. Yeah, the
I don't
Tennessee
think Mike
Henrys.
Vrabel will let them be complete butt cheeks.
Yeah,
that's true. He won't let them be.
He's like mini Mike Tomlin, dude. He will carry that team to 500, whether they like it or not.
And we'll trade with Arizona Cardinals with Gannon, the weirdo. Yo, that dude's a weirdo. He looks like Pee Wee Herman. I see his interviews, and I'm like, this is a one-year guy. He's fired next year. Dude's a creepo. I think he's got a van that's all rusty and white. It says free candy on this mug, and it parks right by an elementary school. They
kept Cliff way too long, man.
They did.
Gannon's going to be there for a few years.
Yeah.
Hey, they want to keep him over there, they can, man. They definitely could. They keep all that over there. Or we got Oren here says, #Lions, thoughts on drafting Hendon Hooker or other quarterbacks in the later rounds. Bro, what do you think about Hendon Hooker, or what is another quarterback the Lions could look to acquire? You know, because we don't have a 4th-round pick, but we got 1 5th and 2 6th.
Man, see, like the drop off at quarterback in this class, man, it's kind of huge. You have like your tier 1 of guys like the Levis, Richardson, Stroud, Young, and then you're looking at Hooker. You're looking at a guy I like, Tanner McKee, who not that mobile, but this is a dude that can definitely work the quick passing game. He's got pinpoint accuracy. He's basically where Mac Jones should have been drafted. So like a 3rd-round guy. After that, man, you're looking at maybe like a Clayton Tune out of Houston, who not the biggest arm, but he's got plus mobility. He throws with good anticipation. He plays with a clock in his head. So he's not going to be a guy that takes too many sacks. Jake Haener, but he's undersized. He's a gritty guy, but I don't know if he's anything more than a backup in the NFL. Like it's you don't want to be deep in or going too far down. It's not act like Brock Purdy's gonna like emerge in this draft.
What do you think about potential quarterback for the Lions? Would it be Hooker or somebody else that's not the top 4, Alex?
Yeah, Hooker. I thought that it's a little bit interesting because he doesn't exactly fit the exact style that Jared Goff does. I love the idea of Tanner McKee because I do feel like he can play and operate a similar offense. I do agree. Not just Broshmo who likes him. I make jokes that he's kind of cheeks, but I still have him top 100. He's still my quarterback number 6. He's still a very solid quarterback. I think he can do much better in the NFL than he did in college, and he does fit the system. That would be my dream round 3/4 pick if we do get to trade back, get that 4th-round pick. That'd be great. But somebody I want to mention down the line is Aiden O'Connell. He actually lit up the combine, and you're throwing him versus air, but still the precision was awesome. He showed that arm strength, and maybe he's not the most nice guy to look at, but he certainly, the ball that he throws is gorgeous.
You're right, though,
he's used to
man.
throwing the ball.
That guy's chin is like, it just is
It's
weird,
wider
man.
than his head.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
That's why you grow a beard, man, so people don't make those jokes.
Get out of here.
That's the funniest. That's so funny because I was thinking I was watching it and I'm like, that dude's kind of weird, man. Weird looking.
Yeah, he's not the best looking brother. I'll put it that way.
Hey, man. More power to him. We got $5 super from Paul Ginder. Lions, thank you so much. Lions, hey, guys, if DJ is gone, Chark, who do you think they put out or get opposite of JMO and Jameson Williams? And I want to know your guys' thoughts on Jameson Williams. He didn't really play that much last year. Why? Because he was injured. Kind of like barely played with the red shirt. But what do you think the Lions should do to get another wide receiver? Or, it's like Jameson Williams, just take over DJ Chark and you just get a scrap heap guy. What do you think, Broshmo?
Yeah, I mean, dude, Adam Thielen's just floating out there. He would be a nice guy to just pick up, get some consistent production from. I love Jameson Williams. He was – I had him up pretty high. I can't remember exactly how high last year. I think he may have been wide receiver 2 for me. But, shoot, he showed his playmaking potential. His first NFL catch was, a 40-yard bomb for a
touchdown. Yeah.
So,
yep.
Yeah, but I think day 2 is kind of the prime spot if, let's say a Quentin Johnston isn't on the board. If you're looking for maybe a bigger guy who may have some vertical capabilities, like guys like Cedric Tillman, Jonathan Mingo, or even if you don't necessarily want those vertical capabilities, there's like A.T. Perry. I'm a big fan of Michael Wilson as this real good possession receiver. So like they got guys with good size out there that'll be able to basically fill in what you don't already have on the roster. Because I mean, spice is the best variety of life, or variety is the best spice of life, and that's like true for your receiver room. You want to get guys that do different things. That way, the offense or the defense can't really match up, or at least match up well.
What do you think about Jameson Williams, Alex, there, and potential replacement for DJ Chark? Just move him over, maybe get a 6th-round guy or undrafted or a free agent pickup. What do you think? So, honestly, I think if Quentin Johnston's there at 18 and you don't have it filled, I think he's an excellent pairing to Jameson Williams. I had Jameson Williams a little bit lower on my board. I had him actually as wide receiver 7 because I thought he fit a specific role. And my board was looking at receivers holistically, and certain receivers do certain things better. And I think Jameson Williams, as a speed receiver in his role, should be worth definitely the pick he was spent that was spent for him. Obviously, when you're comparing him versus Drake London, they're going to do 2 separate things. So in his role, he was wide receiver 1 for me. But
obviously holistically I was a little bit lower. I think that's exactly the role he should continue playing, though. You saw that deep threat ability, and it can take the top off of the defense. The more he's integrated in the offense, the better he's going to be, and the more lethal this offense becomes. Now, if you do get a receiver like Michael Wilson, if you don't want to spend a day one pick, I think that would be awesome. Cedric Tillman's awesome. Bryce Ford Wheaton set the world on fire with his combine. Could be somebody, if he learns how to catch a football, could be somebody who could actually be a good threat. So, there's plenty of options. I think the draft's the right way to go, personally.
My man Nine Drinks, it didn't pop up on here, but I'm reading your member comment. It says, is Will Harris a solid signing? Look, if you're looking for him to be a starter, that is terrible. If you're looking for a backup universal player, I'm fine with, I don't mind backups or depth players. I'm not going to complain or cry about that. But if you're looking for him to be a starter, we're in a world of pain, and we're going to get freaking destroyed. But right now, he's not that. He's definitely not that. So I'm fine with him being here as a backup guy. Just not a starter, that's for sure. Is Karen waiting to be Lions' offer for backup? Yes, except for we can't afford a $60 million backup. So I can't do that right. I don't know what's going on with Green Bay. Just trade that guy. Good God. Just end it. End it. End it right now. Again, we are here with Alex from Hail Mary Sports. Make sure you go ahead and check out his channel. It is the pinned comment for this live stream. It's going to be the pinned comment for when this is complete. Subscribe to the channel. I want 424 subscribers added today. And, of course, Bro Schmo, because he does a lot of mock drafts, live mock drafts, and I want all Lions fans to jump in that bad boy and talk about Jack Fox. So if you're a Lions fan, make sure you subscribe just to jump in his live streams to put Jack Fox. You do that, and I think this is going to be great. We got to rep Detroit, right? We're the team that gets crapped on quite a bit. So let's go ahead and rep it, subscribe to their channels, and get that thing going. Let's see. How are we feeling about Tank Dell in the later rounds just in case DJ Chark doesn't get re-signed, bro?
Oh, man. Tank Dell might be stuck to a slot role given his size, 5'8", 165. And didn't exactly test out with the best long field speed, but the dude's super quick. He's a buttery route runner, but if he's going to be locked into that slot role, I don't like that with Amon-Ra St. Brown. If you're looking for outside receivers, I'd probably look elsewhere.
Okay. Is there a problem brewing with Jameson Williams or overblown? It's overblown, folks. He's 21 years old. He liked a picture of Lamar to Detroit. If that's the problem that we got in Detroit, I think that is not a problem at all. It's not like he is demanding to have players on his team that he played with in college and says, I won't take a trade unless you do it. It's not like he's driving race cars and smashing things. He just liked the picture. Who cares? I mean, it doesn't really matter. Lamar Jackson's cool. He liked him. He likes him, so there's nothing bit to it. Let's see. Get one more up in this mug. And I can't find it. So I'll ask the final question, you guys. Alex, where do you grade Jared Goff? What do you think of Jared Goff? This is a big, we got the Goff truthers in Detroit that think he's the second coming. Then we got the Goff haters that think he's garbage. Then you got me. I think he's a good quarterback. I got no problem with Jared Goff. What do you think outside looking in?
Yeah, I'm more with you. I'm kind of leaning more towards the truthers than the haters for sure. He brought his team to the Super Bowl. Was he carried by Todd Gurley in an MVP level season? Absolutely. But I honestly think he's in a better situation. Really good offensive coordinator. I think he's a really great head coach. A very good defense now too. And especially if you hit the draft right, I think you guys are Super Bowl competitors. And I think Jared Goff is more than requisite to bring you to the Super Bowl. And I was one who called the Eagles Super Bowl this year. I feel like I can call I actually wanted to have the Lions in the playoffs this year. But I think they could potentially make a push if they actually draft properly for the Super Bowl. I genuinely believe that. And I think they could potentially compete, if not win it, if they do hit it right. I don't think Jared Goff would be the reason why they lose it. But I don't know if he'd be the reason why they exactly win it, if you get what I'm saying.
For sure. The Lions win the NFC North?
Yeah, I think so.
Bro,
I think they can.
This answer is going to terrorize your channel for years to come, so that's why I threw it to you.
Always
Jared
and
Goff.
forever. Well, I'm not going to proclaim to be Nostradamus or anything like Alex over here.
Come on, you've done that before. Get out of here. You've done that all the time. Get out of here.
But I mean, obviously, the Lions are playoff contenders right now. They were fringe playoff contenders last year. And Jared Goff, I think he's a borderline top 12 quarterback. Like, I think he's in this tier where it's like, you know what? He may not be elite, but he can get the job done. He could keep us winning until we find the long-term answer, or find that guy that can be that guy that can just help us rise above. Maybe find our Mahomes, find our Allen, find our Burrow, Herbert, or T-Law at this point. Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, like, I think Goff's fine. They're going to keep address the defense, mainly the secondary and free agency. You get to go in this draft and really address it with nice, young, fresh talent. And yeah, like, I love the idea of a trade back and more draft capital so you could actually find that next guy. But I think as of right now, man, Jared Goff's a fine option, a fine bridge quarterback. I would put him in that Geno Smith, that Kirk Cousins tier of quarterbacks, where it's like, as long as the parts around him are really good, then he will do well. He will do well. He's got a great offensive mind in Ben Johnson. Glad he's back for another year. So yeah, I'd say stay the course, but don't let Goff be that long-term answer.
Shout out your channel, man. Let the folks know where you're at, bro.
Oh, what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So you can find me on Broshmo. I do a lot of mock draft stuff. I do a lot of NFL draft stuff in general. Been doing a lot of free agency grades this week. And I'm about to start pumping out my final prospect rankings for the draft. Starting with tomorrow, I'm going to be doing quarterbacks. So maybe not something you look at this year, but hey, why not? Maybe if you get Hendon Hooker, shoot, maybe get some wheels. Jared Goff with wheels. Doesn't that sound nice?
Yeah, Jared Goff with wheels. Alex, shout out your channel. Where can my subscribers find you?
Yeah, so you guys can find me at Hail Mary Sports. I'm very similar to Broshmo. Obviously, he was my big brother channel when I started growing. Obviously, we've departed a little bit in terms of our styles. So if you guys want to watch some really fun content that still feels a little bit original, feel free to come watch both of us. I just uploaded my own draft rankings on edge rushers, soon to be cornerbacks. I'm going to let him take the quarterbacks for the time being. So if you want to see my takes on them, you guys have to wait a little bit. But you guys can enjoy all of that on YouTube, of course. And then feel free to follow us on Twitter, because even Broshmo and I go back to back on each other in the live realm of Twitter. So be excited and then check out for more.
Thanks, everybody. Adios.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great.